Good morning. I'm Louise Michelle Bomber and I'm a specialist therapist, teacher, and I'm an author. I work in the area of trauma recovery and I am here every Wednesday on the sofa, sometimes with my dog Maisie, at 10:30. And this is especially for adoptive parents and special guardians and foster carers. I have to first start by apologising for my disappearance last week. I'm really sorry about that. I was actually doing a book launch. I was being interviewed about my new book, which I was really, really excited about. I was being interviewed by Andrea Perry of Worth Publishing. And if you didn't catch it, you can head over to the YouTube channel of Course We Do, all one word, and you will see the interview there, all about my new book, which is called Know Me to Teach Me. So this is my new book and I'm so pleased to be able to actually hold it in my hands and to show it to you right now. It just feels like, wow, I can't believe that it's actually here. But here it is. What you'll see and you'll notice is that everything we've been talking about on these clips corresponds with the circle that's on the front cover. So you can see regulate, because we work round in a clockwise way, followed by relate, followed by reason, followed by repair. But you'll notice that during this season, this pandemic that we're in, we've been staying around this side of the circle, and that's most appropriate right now. Only a few of us will be able to head over here for limited periods of time to do some cognitive work. So we're going to be spending most of our time on this side, and that's what we're doing in these clips. We're trying to address our regulation needs and our relationship needs. So just to kind of flag that up. Now today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be thinking about sleep, because I know for a number of you that sleep has been really compromised as a result of what we're going through right now, because our nervous systems are all shaken up, aren't they? And yeah, it can come and go, but sometimes we can sleep through the night, sometimes we're waking in the night, sometimes we can't get a sleep at all, and there are obviously some people that have always had difficulties with their sleep as well. So this is kind of like now even more difficult with everything that's going on around us in terms of collective anxiety, the collective trauma that we're in. So we're going to just think about how we can really focus in on our sleep hygiene, if that's okay for today. So the first thing we need to do, I think, is head over to the NHS website and to check out on the graph there how much sleep is recommended for us to be healthy in terms of our age. So go and have a look at that graph and have a little think, be honest and think to yourself, are you actually getting those hours? So that's, once you know how many hours you're supposed to be having, or what is recommended, then we know what we've got to try and aim for. Now this isn't meant to be some kind of guilt thing, but it's just good, isn't it, to know that maybe we need more than what we are actually even giving ourselves the possibility of. That's quite helpful at the beginning. Secondly, I think it's really good to look at our space and to really think about where we are trying to sleep. Now, something that can really help straight away, so I'm just going to give you a bit of a checklist here, is to minimalise. If you've got loads of clutter everywhere, that can be really, really difficult when you're trying to get a good night's sleep. So maybe just think about the space that you're in, your children are in, and is there anything you can maybe move out or move away or tidy up so that you've just got more of a sense of peace in your room. Less is best, honestly, in terms of sleep hygiene. And then secondly, what kind of colours are you surrounding yourself in? The colours on the wall, the lighting, even the linen. What kind of colours have you got? Are they colours that are calming for you and peaceful for you? I would really have a think about, is there anything you could change in that way? It might be that just a little bit of like a splash of paint or just changing some of your linen might be helpful at this time. So have a think and just look around and just think, have I chosen the right colours here? Are they actually helping me to feel at peace and soothed and grounded? Or are they actually kind of waking me up? Are they quite energising colours? I think that's quite important to think about too. Okay, next, light. Really important. Now, you need to have a darkened room. Now, some of us have got curtains that really are letting in too much light. So could we consider maybe some blackout curtains? Or if not, is there any way you could have maybe like an eye mask that you could use? Like this. This is an example. There are many out there. But just something to kind of give you that dark, because that will just really help us to have a better night's sleep as well. So if there's anything you can do in that, that would be really helpful. Obviously there are some amongst us, some children, who might actually want some light, and that's okay. So again, we need to think about what kind of light, you know, what is a soothing light. Is there some kind of a dimmer we could have, a dimmer switch, or a night light, for example? So again, just thinking about soothing, calming colours. Now, you might notice in the background that I have got a diffuser which is changing colour. This is really lovely. It's a real treat for me. I've put some dark card behind it so you can kind of see. Well, I'm hoping you can possibly see the colours and also maybe see the steam that's coming out, because there's some water in there and a little bit of an oil. And guess which one I've picked? Cinnamon. One of my favourite smells because it's so soothing and calming. So yeah, it's in there. There's some just cold water and then a couple of drops of cinnamon, and then it just changes colour automatically, and you can actually stop the colour as well, and on the colour that is most helpful for you. Everyone is so different, so that might be just something to think about as well. That's a little treat, obviously. But yeah, so think about the space, think about what's in the space, think about the colour, and also just think about what is around you, and also the lighting, because we need to try and make it as soothing as possible. So also we can think about, I'm just adding on from that, we can think about smells, what smells might be helpful. So you can have smells obviously in the room, or you might want to put some essential oil on the radiator, for example, in the winter months. Or you might want to consider, you can get pillow sprays and linen sprays. I have got one here somewhere. One of my favourites is this one, Quietude. It's really, really lovely. I just have to spray some now because it's so nice. Such a calming smell. Again, everyone is so different, but just choose which smells are particularly calming and soothing for you. Now, we also need to think about our routine. So, we need to give ourselves enough downtime. We don't need to just head to bed after we've been watching screens, for example. We need to build in some downtime. And I would strongly suggest at least 45 minutes to an hour of downtime without screens. Now, I haven't got time here, and I'm not an expert in the whole thing around screens, but I just know from having read around this and also my own personal experience that screens wake us up. And so we don't really want to be looking at a screen just before we go to sleep. So is there anything you can do to kind of like help yourself with that? Well, obviously you could have a bath, you could have a hot drink like a hot chocolate or hot milk, for example. I quite like a yogi tea, like you know, before I go to bed. It's like a cinnamon smelling tea bag that's in some hot milk. But everyone has like a different kind of routine, so it's going to be up to you what you think will work for you. But something that is soothing, something that is calming, could be a bath, it could be a shower, it could be that you read something before you go to bed. Our children particularly, I think it's really helpful if we can read to them, so they can just nod off as we're reading. And I've brought a nice storybook with me just to kind of show you a possible favourite. Yes, so a storybook, that isn't just for me, by the way, that's more for children, but you get the idea. It's like trying to think of something that we could do that is away from screens. Now, some children will really like their back being massaged and maybe their hands being massaged. You might even be able to use some lotion that's got a nice smell in it as well. So maybe consider that too. But we really need to be just thinking about calm. Remember, the aim of all of this is to soothe and to quieten those lower parts of the brain, the nervous system, the body and the mind. So that has got to be at the back of our mind the whole time. Now, it could be that we would like some music in the background playing, or maybe that we listen to some music instead of reading, or maybe have that on as well. But again, think about calming sounds and songs, lullabies for children. You know, the whole thing is all about just calming down. It's just quietening and slowing down. That's what sleep is all about. So we need to really concentrate on that. And some of us are not very good at quietening ourselves and slowing ourselves down. And so we might just need to do it in a very gradual way, because it will be a bit of a shock to the system to just suddenly go quiet. So think about that as well, so like staggering your way into sleep will be really, really helpful. Now, there are some children and young people who have horrible nightmares and we don't want to go to sleep because they have all kinds of fantasies about what might be in the room, for example, and all that kind of thing. So something that can quite often be helpful, I should have brought one in here actually, as a plant spray that you just put some water in, and you just literally go round, this is with the younger ones obviously, go round the room and spray in all those little corners, and you can call it monster spray. It really does the trick, honestly, believe me. So you can say, right, you and me, we're going to go around the room, we're going to spray the room, we're going to get rid of all the monsters, whoever the monsters might be. And you could have some nice scent in there, for example, or it could just be water. But that is a really nice thing to do with children. We've found that works a lot at Touch Base with some of the children that we work with anyway. Now, if we have more serious difficulties with sleep, whatever our age, whether we're a child, young person or an adult, I would really encourage you to head over to the Natural Health Practice website, which again is actually in my book at the back, the useful recommendations, because I've got a whole chapter on each of these areas, and there's a whole chapter on Regulate, and I've actually put some references in there about sleep. But at the Natural Health Practice, they have this amazing natural supplement called Sleep Support, which quite a few of our clients use, and they find it to be really effective. So you might want to just have a look into that and just find out a bit more about it if you're interested. Okay, so Regulate. See how this week goes in terms of your sleep hygiene. See if there's anything you can just tweak just to make sure that you're getting the quality sleep that you so need. Because right now, living in what we're living is tiring, it's exhausting, and so we really need to be looking after ourselves in this respect. We all need to be finding ways to soothe and to quieten those lower parts of the brain. Okay, so for relating today, because we're going to look at that section as well, we always look at that, don't we? And there's a whole chapter in my book about relating. We're going to be thinking about noticing this week. So we're going to be thinking about how we connect with ourselves and connect with each other through noticing. So what I'd like to do is set you a bit of a challenge, and I want you just to press pause occasionally, and first of all check in with yourself and just notice what's going on in your breathing, in your arm, in your hand, in your leg, in your foot, in your stomach. And just think about, are there any body cues there? Is there anything there telling you anything about how you might be doing right now? So I want you to imagine that if your body could speak, what would it actually say? So say your hand could speak, what would it say? What would your back say? What would your stomach say? What would your breathing say? So I want you to do that first of all. And then I want you, just as you're going about your everyday, to then press the pause button occasionally and look at another. Now, whether that's with you're living with somebody else, whether you're in a family, for example, and just watch what might be going on in their body cues. Or if you're on Zoom and you're talking to people through a screen, watch their body cues as well, and just wonder to yourself what they might be trying to say to you. Don't just go for the words. Try and think what their bodies might also be trying to communicate, because bodies have a lot to say, you know. And sometimes it's up to us just to press pause and to actually take in the whole communication rather than just tuning into words. So I just wanted to encourage you to do that. And it'd be quite interesting to think about what Maisie's trying to say right now as she looks at me and she wriggles around, and you know, I think she'd probably be saying, I'd like a little bit more attention, please. Anyway, you get the idea. It's like we need to be noticing what is going on non-verbally as well as what's going on verbally. So I just wanted to leave you with that, really. Just remember that the body does speak. And in fact, Dr. Gabor Mate has got a really good book out called When the Body Says No. And I think as adults, we're very, very good, aren't we, at overlooking body cues in ourselves. And sometimes our body is saying loud and clear, I am tired, I need a break, or I need a rest, or get me out of here, or I need to move into a different position because this is hurting me. And sometimes we just override that and we don't pay any attention to it. So I think now is the time, during this season that we're in, to really try and focus in on what is going on inside. it's really important what's going on inside. You know, it's more important what's going on inside than what's going on outside, to be honest, because we've got to get a handle on our nervous systems, especially if we want to be of support to anybody else around us as well as to ourselves. So I just want to set you that challenge this week. Just see how you go. I'll be doing it as well. And I'll see you again next week. Bye for now. Stay safe and stay strong, and I will see you next week. Bye.